Gypsy Rose Blanchard claps back at online trolls, calls out YouTubers and TikTokers for relentless harassment.
Did I do the crime? Yes. Did I do the time? Yes. And now it's kind of like, move forward. What else is there to do? Move forward. There is nothing that's going to bring my mother back. There's nothing that I can do that is going to bring back that life.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard is taking a stand against the relentless online hate she's faced since her release from prison. In a bold new video posted to her family's YouTube channel, she directly addresses the cyberbullying, calling out content creators, particularly YouTubers and TikTokers, for what she describes as targeted harassment. The video, which has already sparked widespread discussion, marks one of Gypsy's most assertive public statements yet. She doesn't hold back, calling attention to the misinformation, invasive commentary, and outright cruelty that have followed her since re-entering the public eye. All right, let's dive in.
We are facing a huge problem with cyberbullying right now. There are community guidelines that are put in place to prevent cyberbullying, harassment, doxing. Problem lies is that there is a local law, there is state laws, there's federal laws. If you are in a situation that you're being harassed or bullied from someone in another state, say I'm in Louisiana and I'm being bullied from someone in a different state, my local law enforcement will not know how to handle something that is a federal situation.
While she's right to condemn the spread of misinformation and cruel commentary, there's a certain irony in her framing of the situation that deserves scrutiny. There's no denying that some corners of the internet have exploited her story relentlessly. From conspiracy theories to outright lies, like false claims about her personal life or legal status, the harassment she's faced is real. She's also correct in calling out creators who prioritize clicks over ethics, turning her trauma into cheap entertainment without regard for the human cost. However, Gypsy's stance isn't as clear-cut as she presents it. Let's not forget, she actively participates in the media circus. Since her release, she's done interviews, launched a social media presence, and even announced a docuseries and book deal. If she truly wanted to avoid public scrutiny, stepping away from the spotlight would be the most effective way. She profits from her own narrative. While criticizing others for discussing her life, she's monetizing her story in ways that invite even more discourse. It's fair to ask, is her frustration really about harassment, or is it about controlling the narrative so she's the one who benefits? Gypsy Rose isn't wrong for calling out toxic behavior, but her selective outrage feels performative. If she truly wants less public dissection of her life, stepping back from media deals and social media would speak louder than any video. Instead, she seems to want the perks of fame without the downsides, and that's just not how the internet works.
The amount of people that I have seen personally myself be able to say such heinous and horrible things online with little to no reprimand by these companies or social media guidelines. It's disturbing, and I really feel like this is an issue that does not get talked about enough.
I mean, come on. She literally orchestrated a murder plot and now she's mad people are talking about her online? The irony is thick. Like, yes, the internet can be vicious, and some of the comments about her are way out of line. But let's not forget, she's not just some random victim. She's a true crime figure by her own actions. And now, she's out here making content, doing interviews, and even selling merch. Let's not pretend that prison memoir wasn't a bag chase. So, when she says creators are exploiting her story, babe, you're the one keeping it in the spotlight. And let's talk about the real tea. Her ex, Ryan, just dropped that she allegedly gave out his phone number to creators. If that's true, that's doxing. So she's crying harassment while allegedly doing the exact same thing? The hypocrisy is wild. At the end of the day, the internet is gonna internet. People say awful things because they're hiding behind screens. That's not new. But if Gypsy wants to call out toxicity, maybe she should start by looking at her own choices. You don't get to play the victim and the villain in the same story.
For me, I can speak on my own personal experience. I have a criminal history, and with that being said, there are certain I guess you could say, opinions and certain things that I have to deal with as, number one, a felon, number two, on parole, currently on parole, getting off of parole in about 2 weeks and 6 days. But the duration of my parole, the amount of bullying and harassment that I have had to go through is insane. Everything from people reporting me to my parole officer, and these are false reports. I am baffled at how little could be done in the moment, or even at all, to prevent and have repercussions on the bullies. And I just want to start by saying nobody's perfect, okay? I think that if you have ever said, you've got an argument in the comment section and you're like, oh, you're stupid, you're an idiot, you don't know what you're talking about, that's online bullying. I'm guilty of it. I'm sure you are too. Nobody is perfect. The point is, it's not a matter of if we are guilty of it or not. It's about, hey, we've probably done it in our life, and it's not okay, and that behavior needs to stop. There needs to be this greater, broader awareness about taking accountability for the words that come out of your mouth, or the things that you type, and the level of impact that it has on someone else's life.
I get that she's trying to take control of her narrative now. And yes, online harassment is awful. No one deserves that. But let's not act like she's some innocent bystander in all this. The way she's positioning herself as this wise, reformed victim while still pulling messy stunts is interesting. Like, hello? She literally gave out her ex-husband's phone number online like it was some kind of revenge plot. And then she has the nerve to turn around and cry about privacy and safety? Babe, you know how the internet works. You don't get to weaponize a mob and then act shocked when things spiral. Phone numbers lead to addresses, and addresses lead to real-life danger, something she, of all people, should understand. And let's talk about this whole "I've made mistakes too" disclaimer she throws in like it's some kind of free pass. Okay, cool, you admit it, but are you stopping? Because last I checked, accountability isn't just saying, oops, my bad, while still doing the same shady stuff. She wants everyone to tiptoe around her feelings. But where was that energy when she was dragging her ex or playing into drama for clout? And don't even get me started on the cyberbullying ruins lives speech. Like, Gypsy. The reason you're even famous is because of a murder plot you were involved in. 2 people are dead because of what went down. One by her mom's abuse, the other by her and Nick's actions. The public's fascination and criticism didn't come out of thin air. She didn't just stumble into this spotlight, her choices put her there. I'm not saying she deserves to be harassed, but let's not pretend she's some angelic figure just trying to live in peace. She's actively engaging in the same messy behavior she's condemning, and it's hard to take her seriously when she's still stirring the pot. If she really wants to move forward, maybe she should start by actually stepping back instead of feeding the drama she claims to hate.
I have had online death threats. I have had people come to my house. I have had people threaten to unalive me. I have had all of these range of threats. And what can I do? File a police report? Okay, where does that go from there? If these online threats are coming from someone of a different state, there's little that law enforcement can do. And I feel like they just don't have the understanding of where to take it from there. You can make a police report, and then what's the follow-up? Okay, we'll just write it down in the books. Okay, how is that going to protect me and my family?
Okay, look, I'm not here to cape for Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Let's not forget, she did plan her mother's murder. That's not some minor detail. It's a huge, dark part of her story, and no amount of Trauma Olympics erases that. But here's the thing. Some of the people coming for her online and offline are acting just as unhinged. Like showing up to her house, leaving creepy comments or threats. Nah, that's not holding her accountable. Let's be honest, most of these people aren't doing it out of some noble sense of justice. They're doing it because they're obsessed, bored, or worse. They want clout off her name. How do you even rationalize stalking someone you've never met? Get a hobby. Now, am I saying Gypsy's above criticism? Absolutely not. She's been very calculated in how she's handling her public image. Post-prison glow-up, viral interviews, suddenly being everywhere. You don't have to like it. You can even call her out for milking the spotlight. But there's a massive difference between criticizing someone and turning into their personal tormentor. And let's not pretend this is just about Gypsy. The internet has a nasty habit of picking a villain of the week and then taking things way too far. Remember when people were harassing everyone involved in the Depp v. Heard trial? Same energy. At some point, it stops being about the actual person and becomes about the mob's need for drama. So, yeah, Gypsy's choices are fair game for discussion. But if your idea of justice involves lurking outside her place or sending hate just to make yourself feel powerful, you're not some truth-telling hero. You're part of the problem. And that's way weirder than anything Gypsy's posted lately.
You really need to look at the weight that your words have on other people. For me, I know that I'm not perfect and I have done and said some things online that I regret. So, but I am growing from that. Is the things that we put out on social media worth the monetary, the temporary monetary gain that we get? The amount of rumors about me, Ken, my pregnancy, my life have been insane. Like, some of these conspiracy theories and rumors are insane. Like, I don't understand it, how anyone is able to think this up in their head, put it online. And the sad thing is we live in a society, especially with Gen Z, that they will see a video and take it as fact, when it is complete slander, lies, and manipulation. There are still people out there that think that I was faking my pregnancy, that, oh, my daughter is a doll. Like, come on now. Come on now.
Okay, let's talk about something that's been bugging me. Gypsy Rose's very convenient way of picking and choosing what she responds to online. She'll go off on people questioning whether her baby is real, which obviously is a stupid thing to even debate. But then she's radio silent on the actual heavy accusations that follow her. Like, girl, nobody with half a brain thinks your baby is fake. Why even give that nonsense attention? Meanwhile, there are way bigger questions she never touches. For example, the persistent speculation that she was way more involved in her mother's murder than she's ever admitted. Some people believe she was in the room when it happened, and honestly, there are details in the case that make you go, But does she ever address that? Nope, not a peep. It's just interesting how she'll make whole videos calling out to harassment over dumb internet rumors, but completely ignores the real skepticism people have about her story. If she's so big on setting the record straight, why not tackle the actual controversies? Instead, she'd rather clap back at trolls making baby conspiracy theories because, let's be real, that's an easy win. And that's the thing, it keeps people talking. Because while she's busy shutting down nonsense, the real questions, like whether justice was really served or whether she manipulated the narrative, just linger. And at this point, her silence on those issues, it's loud.
As hard as they can get away with it. You can report comments, you can report videos, but there's so much that slides by that I always see no violation, no violation, no violation. This person straight called me stupid. They hate me. It says on their video the word hate. No violation.
Let's be real. The internet is brutal for everyone. I've been dragged for the dumbest stuff, and yeah, it sucks, but at some point you gotta learn to tune it out or it'll consume you. Look, cyberbullying is never okay, but let's not pretend Gypsy's situation is the same as some random influencer getting hate comments. She's a convicted felon who orchestrated a murder. That's gonna follow her forever, and unfortunately, so will the trolls. If she's letting every nasty comment get to her, maybe she needs to step back from social media altogether. Because, let's be honest, the kind of people leaving hate aren't suddenly gonna grow a conscience just because she calls them out. And let's not gloss over the bigger issue here. This isn't just about mean tweets. Gypsy's past is complicated, to say the least. She's been through hell, but she also played a direct role in someone's death. That's not something people are just going to forget because she's posting clapbacks online. At the end of the day, if she's really that bothered by the backlash, maybe she should focus less on TikTok drama and more on rebuilding her life offline. Because the internet, it doesn't forgive and it doesn't forget. And honestly, with everything she's been through, is fighting with randos in the comments really where she wants to put her energy? Girl, log off.
There is not a single word on the planet that people have not called me yet. And at this point, when they call me the M word, at this point I'm like, okay, can you come up with something better? Because I've been being called that for years and years and years. To my family, I'm not. To my friends, I'm not. I'm just Gypsy. To the people that love me and care about me, and I love them and care about them. To the general public, yes, I have a criminal history. Did I do the crime? Yes. Did I do the time? Yes. And now it's kind of like, move forward. What else is there to do? Move forward. There is nothing that's going to bring my mother back. There's nothing that I can do that is going to bring back that life.
Okay, so Gypsy's out here demanding people stop calling her a murderer because, in her words, it's not going to bring my mom back. And yeah, obviously it won't, but that's not the point. The point is, she is a murderer. She plotted a killing, manipulated Nick into doing it. Let's not pretend he was some mastermind, and then tried to play the perfect victim afterward. And let's be real, 8 years in prison for premeditated murder is nothing compared to what most people get. She can say she served her time all she wants, but that doesn't magically make what happened okay. And now she's trying to position herself as some anti-cyberbullying advocate, girl. This is the same Gypsy who was just online dragging her ex, airing out his addiction struggles like it was gossip content. But now she's sitting in front of an anti-bullying sign like she's Mother Teresa? The hypocrisy is wild. You don't get to cry about people being mean to you when you've been doing the exact same thing to others. And let's talk about the way she handles criticism. She acts like any negative comment is just bullying, but some of it is just people calling out her behavior. If you're out here making questionable choices, like say joking about prison or posting questionable parenting takes, people are gonna talk. That's not harassment. That's the internet. At the end of the day, Gypsy wants full control over the narrative. She wants to be seen as only a victim, never someone who made very active choices. And yeah, what happened to her was horrific. No one's denying that. But trauma doesn't give you a free pass for life. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm always going to cover what's out there and share my take. No fluff, just facts and opinions based on what we see. If you're into that, hit the subscribe button and stick around. I've got more to say.